We just witnessed hockey history as Connor McDavid scores the game winner for Team Canada in the biggest game for Team Canada in, well, at least 15 years, maybe more. But Jordan Binnington was the big story of the game, making multiple crucial saves late. There was so much to break down in this incredible win. Plus, we got support from Sam Bennett. Mitch Marner had a good game. We got a lot to talk about coming up on this episode of Hat Trick HQ. Let's just dive right into it. Show the score 3-2. Canada versus the United States. And I think I speak for all Canadians saying this is the most gratified I've felt after a hockey game in maybe my life. And of course, a lot of fans coming out now for other teams saying, oh, this was a nothing tournament. Let's keep the same energy. Guys, I can't even contain my excitement, I guess. Mark, we'll start with you. What is your reaction to this game? How are you feeling? I want to hear from both you guys.
I mean, you said it perfectly with the hype. This is insane. This is something that I feel like I haven't watched since I was a kid, watching Canada play, which we did watch. The first thing I want to say, I think all of Canada owes a formal apology to Jordan Binnington.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
Hemmington. We seen him in
Him.
overtime making these big saves. He was outstanding and the backbone of Canada when they had hemmed in overtime. Obviously, Mitch set up McDavid for the winner, but Casey, I don't know if you feel the same, but that genuinely feels like one of the biggest games I have witnessed in my life, like Josh said.
Dude, I was vibrating before this game. I was so excited for the puck to drop in. Of course, it goes to overtime, and I haven't jumped off the couch for a sports moment in a very long time, and Connor McDavid did it for me.
Roll it
I
again.
couldn't believe it. Yeah, we gotta bring it up here for you guys because Connor McDavid scored the biggest goal in the past decade I would say hockey in general. This was bigger than a hockey game. We talked about this earlier today. The politics surrounding this game made this even bigger, and Canada came out on top. Obviously, we got some big saves from Jordan Binnington there as well, but one guy that I'd say it didn't get. I'd say he's getting love, but not the love that he deserved. Is Nathan MacKinnon here? I mean, Nathan MacKinnon won the Four Nations Faceoff MVP. Mark, this guy was on fire. He was getting Canada a goal whenever they need it. I think it's great to see Nate Dogg get the MVP here over Crosby or McDavid, which a lot of people thought it was going to.
Yeah, the biggest thing is the tension to start this game. We knew that someone had to start the game hot. We see Nathan MacKinnon come out, score the first goal to open the scoring for Canada. They went down, but they've really kept alive. And I think that the first goal is bigger than a lot of people think, with getting Canada on the board in a crowd where it was Team USA. You heard the chants. We heard USA constantly, the booing. They wanted this, but Canada came out firing on all cylinders. Nate was a huge part. Josh, looking at this, who do you think could have won the MVP if Nate never?
I mean, look, I think a lot of people, like Casey said, we're talking about Crosby. I was actually honestly surprised that Binnington didn't win player of the game for today. I was surprised it was McDavid, but it also makes sense. Game-winning goal, it goes to McDavid. It's hard to say because I think Team Canada had a lot of great players. My mind was MacKinnon, just because of how dominant he looked every time he stepped on the ice. So, look, I think it's fine, but I want to pivot back to the game as well because there was injuries, there was illnesses throughout this whole tournament. We have reports of players playing through serious injuries. Crosby's got a bad elbow. Matthew Tkachuk didn't play after late in the second period for Team USA. There's a lot of guys in and out of the lineup. Morrissey didn't play today, and Thomas Harley did a great job stepping in after a shaky first period. But I wanted to just point out like the stark contrast between the first Canada-US game and this one. Well, it was very apparent, right? That first game was fight, fight, fight right off the bat, and it was finishing your checks. It was physical. It was crazy, and you could tell the teams were just like amped up. But tonight was amped up in a different way where there were not that many hits. Yeah, I mean, there were Team USA with more, but it wasn't to the same degree as it was last time. This was just pure best on best hockey. It was the best players in the world going at the best players in the world. No dirty play. There was one penalty, I think, the entire game, and Team Canada could have got called for too many men here or there, but didn't get called. I mean, I'll go back to UKC, like watching this game, watching how Team Canada beat USA, that's what I love the most because it wasn't cheap. It was straight up like, even though Team USA outplayed Canada for some stretches, at the end of the day, the skill shone through. They didn't have to resort to any kind of tactics. It was no dirtiness, no physicality, no getting into their head. It was just proving like we played a hockey game and we came out on top.
This was hockey at the highest level. I mean, this was a high intense chess match is what I'm going to say because we've seen guys like Connor McDavid, like Cale Makar, finding it difficult to get into open space, which is what they thrive at in the NHL. So it was really hard for them to find their gaps, find those moments where they can jump between defenders, and they can't because they got Jacob Slavin back there who is going to block every shot, get active with his stick, and show the world why he is probably one of the best defensive defensemen in the entire NHL. And this was a great game. I don't want to disparage the U.S. at all. I think they played a great game. They have a great team. They played a great tournament as well. And it's just hockey at the highest level. It's what we live for. And I mean, we're almost a year away from the Olympics, which is going to be absolutely fire. Mark, what are you thinking?
I mean, the biggest thing looking at this, we knew the toughness was on USA's side. We've seen it with the Kachuk brothers. Matthews was throwing hits. They play a mean game, but I think Canada really took control. There is a reason why Canada has the best players. Connor McDavid, the torch passed down from Sidney Crosby. Nathan MacKinnon winning the MVP of the tournament. These guys are at the top of the league. They're the best of the best. And as good as Team USA is, I'm not taking any credit from them. They are an amazing team. I think the depth on Canada, just the pure skill, they finally got to play the game they wanted to. Like you said, Josh, we've seen 3 fights in 9 seconds. They kind of took the lead, USA that is, when the game got physical. But when Canada really slowed it down, or not really slowed it down, I mean, Connor McDavid, you can't slow down when he's on the ice. But when they really took the game into their own hands, I think that's when all the momentum, even though it felt shifted in the USA's standpoint for a while, I do think Canada played their game, and I think it really shows why they came out victorious playing like that. I don't know if you felt the same way on that, Josh.
I mean, I did, right? And I think that's one of the best things that makes me it's so gratifying as well. Just a pure win as pure wins get. But I want to look forward right now because this was something that we've never seen at the All-Star break, right? This is a tournament that was created in large part thanks to the players wanting to get this done together. So my question then is, what does this look like for the future? Are we going to see this kind of tournament every year? Because I can see NHL owners being really upset with the fact that a lot of players are coming away from this tournament injured. Of course, Charlie McAvoy with the infected shoulder now, the Bruins coming out saying they're not happy with it. Don't know if that's true or if that's a ploy to be able to not let players go to this as well. But we know the NHL is going back to the Olympics. What do you think going forward, Casey? First of all, would you like to see this again? Because I think I speak for a lot of people saying yes, but expand it to more than 4 nations. I want to see Czechia. I want to see Slovakia. I want to see, Russia. I want to see Russian players in this tournament. There is political stuff there as well, of course, and I understand if they can't, but I don't know. I want to see even higher level hockey. Now, I don't know if this is sustainable for this kind of tournament every single All-Star break, but with the Olympics coming next year, maybe they won't do something like this, but I absolutely think that something like this during the season or even in the off season or however you can do it needs to happen again.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think I'm greedy. I want to see this every year because this was electric. We haven't seen U.S. hockey in a U.S., Canada, Finland, Sweden, international hockey in a very long time. And we finally got to see it, and it was amazing. And like you said, I want to see this expanded. I know with the politics, it's not a best-on-best tournament without Russian players in the tournament, where they have to do a rest of the world type of thing or something like that to have these players in there. They need to do that. I would like to see this. I'm just gonna throw this out to you here, Mark. I'd like to see this kind of evolve into maybe like a World Cup bracket style kind of elimination tournament where maybe there isn't any round robin games. Maybe they have 1 or 2 maybe round robin games that sorts out the seeding for this tournament, and then it's just single elimination all the way up to the cup.
See, I'm a big fan of the tournament. I think this is the best hockey and the most intense hockey I've watched in some time. But I'm kind of worried if it happens every single year, maybe it kind of loses its touch with everyone. I do like the idea of maybe every 4 years you're going to have the Olympics. So every 3 years, have this happen. Let it be a build-up to the Olympics. You get to see the best on best. You get to see the NHL players play. Then when you hit the Olympics, you know what it kind of looks like. This could be not a pre-qualifier, but more of just a preview of what we're going to see in the Olympics. I totally agree. I do want to see more teams, 8 nations facing off. Would be awesome as well. But going to the Olympics for a quick standpoint, listen, Binnington deserves to be on Team US or Team Canada. So wow, going into the Olympics. But if Logan Thompson is not on the team or Thomas Harley, I think there's huge issues within management. I don't know, Josh, looking at this, would you change much going into the Olympics? I know Crosby's get up in age and he deserves his flowers, but he's going to be the captain of Canada in the Olympics. Do you think there's anyone anyone we're going to see maybe surprise us to jump into the roster, or would you be content seeing this exact roster for Team Canada in the Olympics?
I mean, like, you win, right? And so if you do see this exact roster run back, like, I wouldn't really blame anyone. I mean, there's a few names there, like, I don't know. Like, I think of a Nick Suzuki. Maybe I'm a little biased. I think he's a good enough player. He's still young. I think Thomas Harley, like you said, is going to prove to be one of those core 6 guys on defense. Logan Thompson, if he stays at the level he was this year, he could be there. We don't really know what's going to happen with Canadian goalies upcoming. Like, even like a guy like Mark Scheifele, right, should be in this tournament. So I don't know. There's a lot of interesting names out there, but hey, we can just look forward to the Olympics. This was an amazing tournament, guys. Leave your thoughts down below about what you thought of this tournament, and hey, what do you think going forward? We're gonna have to cut it short there. This was an unbelievable night of hockey. That'll do it for this episode of Hat Trick HQ. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Thank you all for watching this video. I'm Josh Gosse alongside my co-hosts Mark and Casey. We'll catch you in the next one.